Well, good morning to you, good morning. It is Sunday the 2nd of December 2018. Where are we this morning? First Sunday in Advent, and yeah, life. Life is a series of ups and downs, and you know, you start life as a very small baby and you cry a lot, and mothers stick pins in you and make you cry, and you get bigger and you get to the top of your tree as a 4.5-year-old, and then you get taken back down again because they send you to school where everyone else is 5, 6, 7, 10, and you progress and you go from the baby in the school to the big boy in the school. And just as you reach the top of that chain, they send you off to the big school where you're back down at the bottom again. And you get bigger and you become the top dog in the school, and then you go to, some people go to college, university, some people go to work, where you become the T-boy, right down the bottom of the heap again. And then you climb the ladder until you're the man that the T-boy makes the tea for. Well, I had a very pleasant and actually quite funny taking down today. As I say, it's the first Sunday in Advent, and for those of you that don't go along to, that's better, those of you that don't go along to Catholic-y sort of churches may not know this, but on the first Sunday of Advent, a candle is lit. And on the second Sunday, there's a second candle, third, and so forth, all the way through to Christmas. Anyway, I arrived in the church, which is dedicated to Saint Nazaire, here in Azay-le-Ferron. And a lady who I believe she is the sacristan, she jollies everyone along and tells people, you're doing the first reading and you're doing the second, and that sort of thing. Well, she approached me this morning and she knows I don't speak French, so she rabbited away in rapid French, and she asked me if I would light the candle, it being the first Sunday of Advent, and she told me that would I do it after the second reading, before the priest read the gospel, during the singing that takes place. Now, this is a little different to the way that it's done in Benfleet, in St Mary the Virgin, Benfleet, where the candle will be lit before the service. So anyway, she explained all this to me, and I smiled and said, of course, be delighted to. But in England, that would normally be done by one of the children. And she laughed and she said, look around. In that congregation today, I was the child. Yeah. So anyway, the service progressed, and at the appropriate moment I wandered towards the Lord's table, if you will. It is an altar, but there's a high altar behind it, so the low altar, and I lit a candle from the candle on the altar, and yeah, it was all good stuff. So there we are, Advent. The priest then read the gospel, and after that, of course, he some people would say preaches, some people would say he delivered a homily. Of course it was in French. Did I understand it? Most of it, yes. Obviously at the start of Advent he's talking about the build-up towards Christmas. Anyway, that's all, folks. Now that's all. I'm going to have a restful day today. One of you very kindly reminded me that even God rested. Actually, he didn't say God, he said Jehovah rested on one day. So there we are. I'm going to have a nice, restful, relaxing day. Well, how about that? While I've been taking it easy, reading books about drawing pictures in French, the hammer and chisel fairy has been in here and has knocked a lot of the plaster off, and not only that, has actually pushed some mortar in where it's important. That was good, wasn't it? This is work that I did in May, and what is sort of interesting, that is the end of the beam that goes across there. And when you look at this wall you think, oh, isn't that horrible? Well, it wasn't built as an indoor house wall. This was built as a barn wall. You can see how thick it is if I put my hand there. My hand spans about 10 inches, and the wall is thicker at the base than it is at the top. There we are. I wonder if the fairy is going to do a bit more plaster work. The plan, such as it is that up there I'm going to build a fake frame, and I don't know if you can see that one. That's the original crutch frame, and I'm going to build another one to sit on that wall, and mainly to carry a bit of plasterboard or something on the back of it, so that inside the room it will look like a crutch frame, but it will just seal the room up. And I'm probably going to put a glass panel in to achieve some borrowed light, because all of these buildings, they are dark at the moment, and the more light I can get in, the happier I will be. But there we are. Good stuff. Next job to do is light the fire and start dinner.